Have you been trying to apply for the Chevening scholarship, but you're confused? You went to the application website, you're like, what's going on here? You've been hearing about Chevening, you don't know where to start, you don't know how to apply. Well, you're in the right place because in this video, I have my laptop with me and I'm going to hold your hands, obviously not literally, but I'm going to walk you step by step on how to apply for Chevening. We're going to go straight to the website. I'm going to be showing you a screen recording of how you can apply. So from filling in your details, typing in your essays, uploading your documents, this video has everything that you need. So before we go into the video, just a few things I wanted to say. This channel has a whole lot of videos on Chevening, over 48 videos on Chevening, including an interview with the Chevening program officer detailing all you need to know about eligibility, essay tips, interview tips. I'm also a Chevening scholar who won the Chevening scholarship, and I've made a lot of videos on how to write the essays and different parts of the application process. I also have videos with scholars who have shared their details. So everything that you need is on this channel, okay? Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss all of this. Like, hit the subscribe button and let's get right into the video. So the first thing that you really need to do is to go to www.chevening.org. It has already opened it for me. This is the website of Chevening. It has all the details. There's so many amazing things for you. But obviously, in this video, we are focusing on how to apply. So the next thing you're going to do is to click on this button, right? So you're going to click on apply. Now, when you click on apply, it's going to tell you, oh, find awards in your country or territory. There are many different countries. So to make it easy, just type your country. So I'm going to be using Nigeria as an example because obviously I'm in Nigeria. So yes, so we're going to click on our specific country. So they'll ask you whether it's scholarship or fellowship. Basically, Chevening offers two opportunities, but for you watching this video, is most likely the scholarship you're interested in. The fellowship is about 3 months, a short-term thing. But if you want a fully funded funding source for your master's degree, then a scholarship you're going to click. Don't bother about fellowship. Then you click on search. Then it's going to open your country page depending on the country that you are using. So we're going to be using Nigeria, obviously. And when it gives you the information, okay, applications are open now, yay. So you click on apply today. This is what is going to open, right? So you're new to the system. You're going to click register here. And then it's going to open a page to allow you register afresh, right? And even if you had applied before, you still need to create a new application. They don't save your application, So they're going to ask you, obviously, to read all of their policies. Obviously, you're going to apply regardless. So you just click on accept, right? It's at the bottom of the screen. So you click on accept. And then it's going to load the registration, right? So when you're filling in form, you're going to fill your first name. If you have just one name, you can just use your first name. But I like to use 2 names because obviously I have a lot of names and I like all of them to be included. So I use both my first and my middle name, right? Now your pronouns, basically what gender you identify with. So if you identify with he or him, she or her, they or them, I identify with she, her. So you're going to use that. Register with your personal email, not an email that you don't have access to. Okay, so once you fill in your details, fill in your telephone number. I actually advise that you should fill in an additional email so that in case they don't have access to your first email, maybe you lose access or something just happens, you can have access to that. So definitely fill in an additional email. Fill in your telephone number as well. And your address. So I just put YouTube address because I obviously don't want to put my house address on here. But yes, please use your actual address. Obviously all your details. Then you check this to be sure that you've checked everything correctly. Please check everything correctly. And then you click on submit. And they're going to send in a link for your login. This is the email that you're going to get. So they're going to send this to your email. And then you're going to click this link. And then you would set up your password. So you can just create any password that you like. Please use a strong password so that you don't obviously miss out on it. And also don't forget your password. Write it down somewhere. And once you've created the password, you submit. All right, guys, so you fill in your details here. Guys, once you've filled all the documents on this page, then you click on Validate Profile. So after that, it's going to tell you contact profile created, and then you click here. A little tip, guys. So the first time I actually clicked validate profile, it gave like an error message. So what you need to do is to click save first so that it can calculate your age, and then you can now validate profile after you saved it. Okay, this is the popular page where you see everything about your application, right? So once you make the application, you're going to see one in progress application once you start the application. And then once you submit it, it's going to be here, right? And it's going to be here till the end of the process until you're successful. The moment you get rejected, so maybe from the essay stage or the interview stage, you're going to see one unsuccessful application, right? And then if you get selected, it's going to be here for a while till the final process when you eventually get selected. But anyways, let's go into the application process, right? So you're going to click on available open awards. And then you can see the options, right? So like I said, there are scholarships and there are fellowships. So if you can see this, there's the Nigerian Chevening Scholarship. If any country it is, if it's your country, let's say it's Mozambique, it's going to be Mozambique Chevening Scholarships, you know, and any other fellowships that are available to people from your country, literally. So yeah. So you're gonna click on apply. Yeah, so this is a very important part, guys. Please pay attention to everything I'm going to be letting you know. They want to know if you are eligible to apply for Chevening. Some people get rejected here. So I'm going to explain why they're asking these questions, right? So are you a citizen of a Chevening eligible country or territory? Obviously, they want to know if you're a citizen of any of these countries. For if your country is listed among the options, then you're eligible. So you're going to choose yes. If you choose no, that's it. Bye-bye. Will you return to the country or territory through which you're applying for a Chevening award after your award has ended? I understand that further opportunities for study or work in the UK are not an exemption to the return home policy, and I agree to not apply for any other visa category in the UK. So guys, there's no, if you know you don't want to go back to your own country, just end it here. Don't continue, right? But if you know you want to continue, then please go ahead. I obviously chose this and I'm back in my own country and I'm happy and I'm living my best life. And obviously, I do have plans of returning later. So, like, it's not a do or die this thing. If you're interested in going, if you're interested in doing this, do it, right? So, if you say yes, if you say no, that's it. Do you have an undergraduate degree that will enable you to get entry to a postgraduate program at a university? So this is equivalent to 2-1 honors degree. Even if you have a 2-2, guys, still say yes, because the key point here is that will enable you to get entry. So some schools allow 2-2. So the focus here is really about you getting entry. They said typically equivalent, not that it's only 2-1, right? So even if you have a 2-2, still say yes. If you say no, that's it. Do you have the minimum work experience as stated below? So 2 years. For example, 2 years is the equivalent of 2,800 hours. I do have a video calculating that, but off the top of your head, if you have about 2 years of full-time experience, or 3 years of full-time experience, or multiple experiences are quite a lot, you should be eligible, right? But I do have a video explaining this. Just check the channel. But obviously, if you say no to any of these questions, guys, that's it. Are you at least 18 years of age? Yes. Would you have completed an undergraduate degree? Yes. Are you applying for a scholarship for a course of study commencing in the autumn term? Yes. So everything here, guys, is yes. So anything that is no, that's it. Okay, so we're going to click submit. They are doing this so that they don't waste their time and your time. That's just what it is. Like, nobody's time will be wasted. So the next thing you're going to do is complete the pre-screen questionnaire. So basically, all these things are just to know whether you are eligible, so that you guys don't waste your time, because the application is a lot, so let's save each other time. That's what this is about. So do you aspire to be, or are you already a leader, decision maker, or opinion former in your home country? Do you aspire to be, or are you already? So even if you are not already, as long as you aspire to be, you are eligible. So yes. Are you a British citizen? If you say yes, guys, that's it. The scholarship is not for British citizens, okay? So the answer is no. Have you previously studied in the UK with funding from a UK government-funded scholarship? If you are as well, is a no. So you say no to this, right? Have you been employed in a permanent, temporary, or internship role since July 2020 by the UK government, the British Council, or the Associate of Commonwealth Universities? If you have been employed, British Council, Association of Commonwealth Universities, don't bother. Okay? So you're going to say no as well. Have any of your immediate relatives been employed since July 2020? If they have, guys, I say sorry. You say no, right? So all these questions, except for the first one, you're going to say no. So the first one, you're going to say yes, right? Okay, guys, so we now have our application. So we've already passed every single stage and we are good to go and ready for our application. So this is the background, right? So you can't literally change anything at this point except you email the secretariat, which is very important, right? So preferred interview location, guys. You have to choose an interview location that is close to you. So they'll give you options depending on your country. I'm based in Lagos, so if I was going to do it, I'm going to pick Lagos, right? So the next thing will now be your education details, right? So depending on what your education is, you add your education details here. So let's say undergraduate, you choose your country of, then you confirm, then you select the university. I think my school should be here. If it's not here, you're going to put other. I don't think my school is here. So you put other, literally, if your school is not listed. Basically, you feel when you started and when you ended. I don't want us to waste too much time on this. I know I finished in 2015. These are not the right dates. the type of degree. So whether it's BSc, BA, whatever form it is. It's actually BA, to be honest with you. Then degree subject. So what is your degree subject? If your degree subject is not there, you have to put in I think order as well. Or order, or you find the closest. I did study history and international relations. So I'm just gonna put history. Then you put your full course title. I'm just showing you guys this thing because I feel like it can be confusing to people. And then you select your result scale. So mine was 1 to 5. And then you select your result. So I had a 4 points. I think it was 4.65 or 7.5. I don't remember. And then you submit. So this submit you are clicking is not like you are submitting the application, because I know people get scared. What does submit mean? You're just submitting that education document, and you can still edit or change this. So you're not submitting your application. If you have more to add, so if you want to see any of your details, you're just going to click save drafts. So if you see it now, you can see my details here already. If you have another detail, like another undergraduate degree, postgraduate degree, you can include it here. Next thing you want to do is obviously your work experience. So are you currently employed, part-time work, voluntary or internship role? If you are, you say yes. If you are not, you say no. And then you add your work experience details here. So you can type the organization. So whatever it is, really. Obviously, if you're like CEO, you can write founder CEO. If it's a part-time work, you can write part-time work and stuff like that, right? So yeah, you calculate the number of hours that you worked per week. I don't know the number of hours you worked per week. You can calculate it. For example, if you worked 9 to 5, how many hours is that per day? How many days in the week did you work? You multiply it by 5. But ensure that by the time you add all your work experiences, they add to 2,800 hours, right? So, for example, some people might do 6 hours a day job or 8 hours a day job, and they work maybe 5 days a week or 6 days a week, or they do 4 hours a day, 4 days a week job, and they work maybe 10 hours. So, like, the point is, if you add like one experience, maybe you worked there for 3-4 years and it's more than 2,800 hours, it's still fine. If you have multiple experiences, so maybe 4 or 5 experiences, as long as they add up to that 2,800 hours, you would be fine, right? So yeah. So you click the kind of employment, summary of your responsibility. Obviously, this is just a dummy text, guys. So you need to actually explain what you were doing there and think strategically, right? So whatever experience you're putting here, let it be something relevant to your application. And even if it's not, at least have some of your experiences here that are relevant to your application, right? But in this kind of page, you're supposed to write something like, oh, I manage a team of 5 to 6 designers. I oversee this and this. I create this and this. I work on this and this. If you're a business developer, I liaise with potential partners and sponsors to get this and this. I manage the something team. I work on this. Basically, what you write in your CV, that's what you're going to write there. And try to put figures as well. The way you would write a standard CV, that's how you're going to write that segment, but brief. I'm not saying you should write all the story in this life, but every single part of your application needs to sell you, right? So don't look at this as, oh, it's just to list my experience. You actually want to be detailed here. And then, yeah, depending on where you work, whether it's private or public sector, right? Okay, so yeah, from the date to the date. So they're actually going to calculate it for you. So for example, if you worked there from 2016 to 2018. No, that's not even possible. Don't go and put something like that, right? Also, one tip for you guys, in the bid to make up for the hours, don't put an unrealistic number of hours, like say 70 hours a week. They are going to flag your application, right? Put very realistic working hours. Don't go and be putting that you work 20 hours a day. Like, you're going to get kicked out, right? So use your discretion in choosing the right amount of hours. I think there's a part of the website that they say that anything more than 60 hours a week might be flagged, right? So don't put unrealistic working hours, to be very honest. It's better you merge up a series of experiences that make up to the 2,800 hours. Or if you don't even have it at all, you wait a year than for you to lie, because they will flag your application and all the stress you went through in the essay might just go to waste, right? So ensure that you put realistic hours, right? So let's see what they have to say. Okay, so I'm sure they've created that now. Obviously, depending on how many you have, you can include them here. But for you to see what you've been doing, you have to click save draft. And also, so that you don't lose your information, you also have to save draft as well. So you can see that it's showing the number of hours. Imagine, so I said I work 40 hours a week, and I worked for, I think that's about, how many years is that? 27, 2018. That's about what? I think 3 years or something. Yeah, because yes, about 3 years or 2.5 years. And it's already 4,487 hours, right? Because I worked 40 hours a week. So you can easily meet up that requirement, but you just need to be realistic with your explanation and with your time. So even if you work less hours a week for maybe your own company, it can still meet up to that. So anyways, we're going to go to the next segment. So the next thing, and that's your essays, guys. So I don't advise anybody to write your essays directly here. I would say write your essay on a Microsoft or Google Docs document or another writing app. Obviously, you can't even write the essays at the time you're applying, right? I advise that you work on your essays first. On this channel, we have a whole lot of videos on the Chevening essays, like how to score high in leadership, how to score high in the relationship building and shared learning, how to score high in studying in the UK, how to score high in career plan. I have about 4 videos dedicated to this, or no, about 10 really. I do have an interview with the program officer talking about these essays. I do have interviews with Chevening scholars talking about these essays. So we can't talk about the essays in this video because there's a lot of videos on the essays, right? But my key tips for you here is do not exceed the 500 words in any of these essays. I would even advise that you write 499 words just to be extra careful and safe. I like to be over careful, guys. So yes, visit the channel. I will link some of these videos in the description box below. But like, all you need to get high scores in these essays are already on the channel. We have well over 20 to 30 people that got Chevening from just watching those videos. Your essays are important, guys. So once you have your essays, you can just copy and paste each of them in this space and then save draft. The next part of the application, obviously, is application information, right? So here you're going to choose your different courses. All you just have to do is to add a university application. So I don't know what you have chosen, right? I'm just going to use some of my choices, right? So I think I applied to Sheffield, the University of Sheffield. So one tip here is you don't have to have applied to the school at this stage, right? It doesn't matter. What matters at this stage is you have checked all the schools that offer your course. You've checked their requirements. So let's say they require 2-1, you have 2-1. Let's say they require 2-2, you have 2-2. You have checked that you qualify for their application requirements. Let's say they need a relevant undergraduate course, you have it. Let's say they don't need a relevant undergraduate course, you don't have a problem. At the point of applying and even up to submitting, you don't have to have had an offer from any of the schools. You don't even have to have applied. I didn't apply to my universities at the time I made the application, but they want to know that you have identified the schools you want to go to. Also, my advice is ensure that at least one of your choices are really easy for you. So let's say you have a 2-1 or a first class, apply to have one of your choices that you're 100% sure that you're going to get in, right? So maybe I tend to call them your first and second choice schools that you're really interested in. Your third choice has to be a backup school, a school that you can get in regardless, because you only have one more chance, right, to change these choices, and that's if you get shortlisted for interview, right? So once you submit the application, the next thing you need to do is apply to the schools. In case any of them reject you, get another school or another other school choices and apply to them immediately, so that when you get to the interview you can now change the choices if you get rejected. But for now, identify 3 schools that offer 3 similar courses. Don't choose different courses, choose courses that are similar in each of these 3 schools. That is so important. So let's go to University of Sheffield. Confirm university. Okay, so I'm gonna choose. So this is basically the course I chose. Creative and Cultural Industries Management. You rank it according to first, second, and third, right? Have you already applied to this course? If you are, say the truth, guys. Yes, I have a conditional offer. Yes, I have an unconditional offer. No. Yes, I've applied. I'm awaiting edition. I don't know what your options are. And if by some reason you've already applied and are awaiting a decision, you can also choose yes, I've applied and I'm awaiting a decision. So they'll tell you please apply as soon as possible, blah blah blah, submit and add new. But obviously, if you're adding more choices, which you should, you submit and add new. But I don't want us to waste too much time on that. So yeah. So that's for the university applications. They're gonna ask you core subject area. So what is the core subject area of what you're doing? So for me, it's going to be art, design, and the creative industries. You just have to choose your core subject area here and you will be fine, right? So now these are important questions as well. So do you hold a valid passport? Yes. Do you hold refugee status? No. So you put in your passport number there, depending on your your situation, right? Have you ever been refused a visa for any country, including the UK? So depending on the situation, you say yes or no. Have you ever been deported? Blah blah blah. No. So basically, you answer your the questions. Okay, so you go to terms and conditions. So basically, they want to ensure that when you become a Chevening scholar, you're going to follow the rules and regulations, right? So you say yes, 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 yes. Obviously, do well to read some of these rules and regulations. Be sure that you abide by them, really. But yes, these are key questions as well. So, guys, you can see that they are very serious on these 2 years. So, please don't bother if you are not ready to return to your home country, because they keep asking you, so that when eventually you now want to stay, they will remind you that you said yes, in all this period. So, don't bother if you're not ready to return. Anyways, so yes, and then you click on upload documents. So, yeah, you answer all these questions. Obviously, if you have a disability, you say yes or no. basically these things don't have an influence on whether you're selected. They just want to check how inclusive their scholarship is, really. So where do you hear about Chevening? You can say anywhere you heard about it. Chevening alumni. How long did you consider? I don't know, 1 to 2 years. Reasons why you selected is you can choose any. Have you applied to Chevening before? Have you considered applying for any years? They'll ask you for examples. I did give other opportunities I was interested in, but it didn't affect me, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, you can upload your document. So the deadline to upload your document is usually end of February. Each year it changes. So for 2023, it's 21 February. So this document basically is to upload your certificate or transcript. So if by any reason at the time you're submitting, you don't have your certificate or transcript, you can upload it after you submitted by 21st February, right? So yeah. Conditional offers, if you already have a conditional offer, you can upload. However, you don't have to have had any offer at the time you're applying. But when eventually you have the offers, you can upload them as well. But the deadline really for offers from university is 13th July 2023, which is a very generous time. Like, I don't know why you should not have an offer as of July, really. So apply early, guys, because of exactly try to apply before the interviews so that in case you need to change anything, at least you can change it at the interview. Your referees' names, very important as well. You actually, this one is very important. You need your referees' references. It's always the same time with the uploading documents deadline every year. So it's usually end of February. So ensure that you start speaking to your referees once you submit the application or before you submit, actually, to be sure that they want to write the references, right? So yes, and you upload them. So you add the referee details here and they'll ask you the same questions, job title, capacity rate known, and you include it. See, after answering all these questions, you basically just upload what you have. That's your passport ID documents. And then, yeah, this one is just for them to know whether the application, their portal is user friendly. And then agree. Then you say yes. And then you click submit to Chevening and everything will be fine. I always advise that you don't submit at the first time you fill in the form. So give it a few days so that you can have time to go back to it and read it again, just to be sure that everything is right. If you can get a second eye to look at it, that's also good. Because once you submit, you cannot take it back. The only thing you can do is to withdraw your application, but you can't make another application in the same cycle, guys. So be 100% sure before you submit your application. Okay, I hope that this video was very useful for you. I hope that it has helped you to understand the step-by-step process. If you're still a little confused or maybe you need clarification on anything that I did in this video, just drop it in the comment section. Also, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you need guidance with the essays, my channel is the place to go. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you need one-to-one personalized guidance on winning the Chevening scholarship, then head over to the link in the description box below where we can do one of our services. So basically guiding you, talking about the essays, application brainstorming, whatever it is that you need, and basically any other scholarship too. So not just Chevening, we have so many other resources on this channel and from this brand. So our YouTube channel, our website is all you need. All right, bye.